Iguodala. Iguodala to Curry, back to Iguodala, up for the layup. Oh, blocked by James. Curry, one-on-one. Irving puts it up. It's good. Kyrie Irving from downtown. The three, steps back, crossover, puts up a three. Rebound James. Second. It's over. It's over. Cleveland is a city of champions once again. The Cavaliers are NBA champions.
Cleveland, this is for you.
What's going on, everyone? Welcome to another edition of The Block, The Shot, The Stop, Cleveland Cavaliers podcast brought to you by the Blue Wire Podcast Network. He's Tim Daniel. I'm Skylar Webker, and we're here to talk about the seemingly always winning Cleveland Cavaliers. 5 games in a row now, even coming out of the Allstar break. Tim, what was your impressions of kind of the first game back, getting the rust off?
Yeah, I think that's the best way I'd put it is it looks like they were it took them a little bit to get their legs underneath them. The first half, they're a little, things were a little hard. I think Brooklyn played great defensively. They were really physical in the game, and you could tell that gave Cleveland fits. The Nets have had the number 1 defense in the league now, I think the last 10 games, according to Kirk Goldsberry, and his beautiful chart he puts out every week. I'm a huge fan of it. And so that kind of got brought back over, and Cleveland definitely struggled to kind of get space and get some shots off, and you saw that. I mean, the way that they played, so that was really cool. But overall, I mean, this is the Jared Allen game, right? I mean, 20 rebounds. Mobley had a double too. Don't get me wrong, but Jared Allen back in Brooklyn was terrific tonight and really kind of led the way for the Cavs.
Yeah, I mean, Jared Allen to me seems like the guy that still takes the Brooklyn thing personal, even though he's in a way better situation. But he was the most consistent for tonight. I mean, he played well from tip off to, till he got to garbage time, while everybody else was still kind of, struggling, getting the rust knocked off, just kind of getting back into game rhythm. But man, 20 rebounds, 16 points against Nick Claxton, who kind of matches up in that Miles Turner type of lengthy athletic center that usually gives Jared Allen a little more fits, but boy, not tonight. No,
and I mean, I love Claxton. I really do, as just a rim runner, kind of Jared Allen light almost. You can make the case of realistically. But yeah, I mean, tonight, Allen just looked like on another planet. There's just something about when he has these games where he flips the switch. And I don't know, you mentioned maybe he takes personally the fact he's back in Brooklyn. Maybe he takes personally he was not picked to be on the All-Star team, even as the Giannis replacement. Maybe he takes personal that he still feels overshadowed. And you could see kind of taking all that out tonight. So it was awesome, man. What you kind of got from him tonight is really been a lot of what we've seen when the Cavs are playing their best this season. So kudos to him for an awesome performance tonight, and I really, really enjoyed it.
Yeah, I mean, it's kind of been a theme all season as you're going to have to forgive me. I'm going to butcher this. Umano puts out here. A lot more rage in his game this season, and definitely true. Like, he's been a lot more physical.
Well, dude, he had that dunk in was it the second quarter where he was in a fast break, and oh my god, that was awesome.
He definitely more intensity this season, but especially turns it up when Brooklyn either comes to town or returning to Brooklyn. Like I said, he definitely still takes that, and like you said, the kind of overshadowing of the All-Star selection, which still it doesn't make any sense to me. Like if a big goes down and you limited to 6 bigs and 4 guards, why did you replace Giannis with a guard?
I mean, the West side too, because Anthony Davis, when he went down, they replaced with Kyrie, which don't get me wrong, Kyrie should have been an All-Star.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's stupid. That's like the lowest of complaints we could have about the All-Stars. Obviously, it was great that our guys got to show out that weekend. But that's neither here nor there. Yeah, and we'll probably bitch about that one for a while, and I have no issues with it. So, a couple things I want to point out about tonight before we kind of do a deep dive into the players' performances individually. First things first, and this obviously comes with winning. I noticed it when I was in Indy. Did you see how big the Cavs fan section was at the Barclays tonight?
Yeah.
Man, that was awesome. You're obviously that comes with winning and then things like that. But dude, like I said, in Indy, it's never gonna be 50-50. Anyone who tells you 50-50 that's not a Laker road game is lying.
Mm.
But it's definitely getting more vibrant and more loud. Obviously, I know they will talk about Naquan Tomlin making his NBA debut. That was really cool at the end of the game. But just kind of this whole situation of seeing this like all this wine and gold, and not just LeBron jerseys anymore. It's not like people are just grabbing their old LeBron jerseys and wearing them to the arena now. Like you're seeing Garland jerseys, you're seeing Mitchell, you're seeing Mobley, you're seeing people wear the city jerseys.
Yeah, I saw that tonight.
Out, man. It was it's really cool to see that we keep talking about the Cavs moving on from the LeBron era and enforcing this being this new era of the team. It's really cool to see people traveling to see the Cavs or people who maybe are, transplants to New York City going to see their hometown team and get to sport the gear and rock it. So it was really, really awesome.
I wish I had this pulled up because I don't remember who said it. But one of the Cavs beat writers said that the Cavs this season are on pace to break their attendance and ticket sales in franchise history. That's more than any LeBron years. That's more than any playoff years. Like they're on pace to break franchise record of ticket sales and attendance this season, which is awesome. Like that feels so good. Like to have. I don't want to say like. It just feels good to have a great team that's breaking records and doing stuff that doesn't have LeBron James on it. And that's not a slight to LeBron James, but it's good to have a franchise that's known for more or doing more than just LeBron James.
Yeah, and it happens in every Cavs era. You have to move on from the big name. I mean, they had to move on from Mark Price at some point. They had to move on from LeBron. They had to move on from Larry Nance Sr. So he just so happens to be the greatest basketball player to ever walk the earth. So this conversation is a little different than those other guys. But yeah, I mean, the fact that this team, like you said, they have their own identity. It's not just this big shadow. This is who they are. And guys like Jared Allen and Evan Mobley and Darius Garland have really, really kind of enforced that. I mean, especially Garland and Mobley being that they were, like we talked about last night, these guys were drafted by Kobe Altman and staff and were brought up to kind of make this happen. So to see them get rewarded with having a little bit of an advantage on the road from the audience has been really awesome.
Yeah, you just put that in like such better words than I was trying to like get out of my mush mouth.
I do that all the time. I do it all the time. It's podcasting.
Yeah, I mean it's such. We say it every week, but like, what a time to start a Cavs podcast. I mean, riding high on this one.
Yeah, I mean, especially like I said, like this was a game where I think what was really nice about this game was the fact that they were punched in the mouth, and they had to respond. I mean, they're down to half. Really, the game's extremely close in the third quarter. And then the Avalanche kind of starts at the end of the third, goes into the fourth. Mitchell's making these unbelievable plays. It kind of felt like
making unbelievable plays.
Yeah, dude. Like, so Garland has the pass to Allen for the dunk. That was really cool. Mitchell has that like bounce pocket pass kind of thing to Mobley, just lead him to the rim. That was
the fastest pass I've ever seen. That was a major league fastball of a pass.
Yeah, I mean, Don Mitchell's a big baseball guy, so big Mets fan, as we know. Dude, the playmaking of those two is just unbelievable. And then, so DeAndre Hunter tonight has 9 threes already in his 3 Cavalier games so far. Pretty good for a guy who doesn't play a lot of minutes.
One thing that like I noticed about DeAndre Hunter tonight, especially, that I think isn't being talked about enough with the acquisition of Hunter is he's not just a catch and shoot specialist like some of the other
Correct.
guys that we have on the bench, like a Sam Merrill or Max Strus, even, who are really just catch and shoot specialists. Like, he was out there actually creating shots for himself, which is, just another tier, another wrinkle in the scoring that I don't think is just being talked about in this acquisition at all. I think everybody thought they're going to stick him in the corner. He's a 3-and-D wing, but he can definitely contribute to the offense on another level.
So I put this in our Blue Sky account. They ran this formation. They ran this lineup, this 5-man lineup to start the fourth quarter. And I thought it was really, really fun. I really loved it. So it was Mitchell and Merrill as your ball handlers. Your wings were Hunter and Okoro. The first time I got to see them on the floor together.
Mm-hmm.
Loved it. And then they went Mobley as the big. The defense in that lineup, and that's including a lineup with Mitchell that we're saying the defense here. Fantastic. Just super physical, super long. I mean, Hunter and Mobley alone. I mean, you could play Hunter as a 4 in that situation. And then Okoro, where, I mean, if you have those two and Allen and Mobley, you're even longer. But to have what they saw there and kind of you're kind of just telling Mitchell to kind of just run the offense. I thought that was a really, really fun group of 5-man lineup that they threw out there. And I thought, Brooklyn made some tough shots in that stretch, so kudos to them. But I really like that core, and I hope we see that lineup a little more often.
I'm sure we will, because and you kind of hit on it, but the first game of having Okoro back after a lengthy time on the IL or IR, or I don't know, whatever it is, but a lengthy time not being available, coming out tonight, contributing 17 minutes, you'd look at the box score and be like, he was barely out there. But my favorite stat, plus minus, a plus 16, which outside of Sam Merrill and his defense, really, that leads the Cavs. That's more than Mitchell. That's more than Allen. That's more than Mobley. That's contributing in ways that aren't just, your counting stats.
Yeah. Can we talk about the Mobley dunk that murdered the rim?
Yeah, sure. I mean, there were a ton of attacks at the rim. There were a couple that Donovan Mitchell threw up there and got fouled and
Robust. We're almost tonight felt like it could have been a Cavs mixtape. It could have been something where you just put on 2025 Cleveland Cavaliers highlights on YouTube and you just get 5 minutes of this game. There was just a bunch of those.
Yeah, absolutely. But I'll let you, since you're the president of the Evan Mobley fan club, I'll let you kind of run through the Mobley dunk.
All right. So the first one obviously is the Mitchell one, where Mitchell has the bounce pass that leads into the rim. But this is towards the end of the game. And he kind of he puts the ball on the deck and finds and attacks the rim. And this makes it 92-80, if I remember correctly, if you want to try to find if you didn't watch the game. He has a two-hander, draws the foul that leads into a timeout. And you see the whole bench walk onto the floor to approach him. And that was pretty awesome. So fantastic.
You're talking about the one where he put the spin move on Cam Johnson?
Yeah.
That was awesome.
The foul. Oh,
yeah.
Man, just fantastic stuff. Especially because Cam Johnson was rumored to be DeAndre Hunter in the trade situation for a while there.
Mm-hmm.
So just a fantastic moment. Then hits the free throw at the end, where this was in the game that Cleveland really did not hit their free throws. So to get that one was really big.
Yeah, this game, there's so many things I want to touch on, but first off, this game felt weird, and like I said, knocking the rust off. But by the time that third quarter came, these guys kind of really got it pieced together, got it rolling together. Kenny had a little more different lineups, like I said, with getting, or like you said, actually getting Okoro back and using Okoro with DeAndre Hunter. And you had Max Strus in the lineup. He didn't have a fantastic night, but
no, when he hit the one shot that he finally made, seeing him kind of have that deep breath was kind of fun.
Yes. Yeah. The deep breath, you just be like, all right, monkeys off my back. Even though at that point, I think it was blowout. It was starting to turn into a blowout, but
yeah,
you still need to see that ball go in to have fun with it. But
Yeah,
I'm curious. Why do you think Cam Johnson wasn't traded? Not just to Cleveland, but just
in
like he
general.
was kind of the marquee guy until obviously Luka.
Yeah, that's true. Man, I don't know. Because they really didn't make any deals, right? The only thing they did was buy out Ben Simmons to send to the Clip, and so he could sign with the Clippers. Thank God he did not sign with Cleveland. I don't dislike him. I just don't think he would have been a good fit whatsoever. I think we'll talk about Javonte Green here in a second. I think it's a much better fit for what the Cavs looking to do. But my best guess, honestly, Skyler, is not necessarily that Brooklyn has him to be as a part of their future, though they might. Because, like I said, I think they've got some dudes. I think they've got some good role players. We've talked about it all year as far as like the teams that would be a great Cooper Flag team. With how this team plays defense, you get Cooper Flag's bucket getting. I mean, that's pretty fun. That Brooklyn team's pretty fun. But with that being said, my best guess is honestly they probably did not get the offers they wanted. And what I mean by that is they probably did not get the draft capital they were hoping for him. They probably did not get the sort of prospects offered. So that's my only thing I can assume. I haven't read anything about Brooklyn. If there's any Brooklyn people out there who can give us details in the comments, please do. But at the moment, my best guess is just they didn't have anything that just really wowed them to want to get rid of him.
I mean, probably, but as we saw, like I definitely think, and I think Kevin mentioned it before, I think the Luka trade really put the market in a weird spot. Like we went
Agreed.
from 5 first-round picks for Mikal Bridges to 1 for Luka Doncic.
Yeah, and then that's not even counting the Jimmy Butler to the Golden State trade, which kind of made things weird too.
Yeah, exactly. So it's like, so I understand, oh, well, we didn't get what we want. Well, it's one of those things where you should have traded him sooner. You held on to it too long. You held on to that Bitcoin a little. No, I don't want to say Bitcoin. Bitcoin's actually doing well, but you held on to whatever coin
GameStop,
too long.
your
until it
GameStop
crashed.
stock.
Yeah, there you go. You get your Jimmy stock.
Yeah. Well, it's like, I mean, Chicago with Levine. I mean,
Yeah.
they could have traded him for much better packages than the one they got. I mean, they could have gotten much better back than they got in that Sacramento trade, the Fox deal. But they also could have got great deals for him last year. And
That's true.
DeRozan too. I mean, they had so many chances, and Caruso. So you're noticing a trend of what I'm saying here. And that's not why we're here, but yeah, if you hold on to a guy too long, eventually your response is not going to be good. And don't get me wrong. I mean, Josh Giddey's been fine for them. But yeah, that's a lot to kind of be looking into.
And I guess I just don't really understand what Brooklyn's plan
I don't think they
is.
do either.
Like they're not in the tank, or they're not in a kind of top pick of the lottery right now. I'm looking at the tankathon. They're at
seventh, yeah, but they're not too far out of the 4, which you just need to be in the top 4 to have the best chances.
I mean, yeah, that's true.
Yeah, because they're I don't know. Maybe I'm wrong. They're 6 wins above Charlotte for 4. So, they're kind of hoping for swing and luck there. And I think if you the general consensus about this draft is all these guys that we were all in love with in the offseason, we thought, this is like a 7-8 person draft. It's really turning into a 4-person draft.
Mm-hmm.
And so, it's like that flag through VJ Etchcom from Baylor is kind of like the range right now.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't know what, and Brooklyn fans, let us know like what your thoughts on the team are. I'm sure
not our problem because we won't be in the lottery for a long time.
We don't have pigs to be in the lottery for a long time.
There's that point too. But yeah, I don't see Cleveland making a trade to get into the top 3 in this year's draft. So
no, not even a little bit. They love the guys that they have. Yeah. Which, speaking of the guys that they have, they just acquired Javonte Green, or I guess are set to acquire him. He's got clear waivers and the whole process. You got to do the paperwork. But Tim, what's your thoughts on the addition?
I really like it, honestly, Skyler. I do. So you always hear the term 3-level scorer for players. Javonte Green is a 3-level defender. like legitimately when I say this, I mean literally on let me pull up this thing from Dan Devine real quick. But while I'm doing that, I'll talk about obviously from my time covering the Bulls, I saw him for a couple years and really liked what they got out there. He's a really athletic guard. He's a really athletic wing. He can play 2 through 5 realistically. I wouldn't want him to be that big of a ball handler. But the way he's kind of so physical and deep and like plays like the way he guards the jerseys are he's in your uniform is what I'm trying to say. So here it is.
Mm-hmm.
All right. So Basketball Index has does percentiles for those who are baseball nerds. I've been a Baseball Savant, one of my favorite pages. Basketball Index has something extremely similar. So this is 3 players in the 80th percentile or higher in Basketball Index perimeter isolation defense, matchup difficulty, defensive playmaking, ball screen navigation, passing lane defense, and rim protection metrics. Those are all a different thing. 3 guys are in the 80 percentile. Amen Thompson, Alex Caruso, and Javonte Green.
That's awesome.
So the Cavs are getting that backup big, strong defender. I mean, he's like Draymond Green size, but with how physical he is, he can kind of has that level, and he can dunk, man. He can freaking throw it down.
Well, he's what, 5 or not 5, 6'5", but he has a 7-foot wingspan, which is bananas to think about your like dimensions. His tailor must hate him.
Yeah, I'm sure he does. Thank God the NBA does not have the dress code policy anymore.
Thank you, AI.
Yeah, I think he's going to be. I think he's a great addition. I think that as far as like I've joked often about Marcus Morris of late being on the Cavs last year in the playoffs. This is a nice upgrade from the buyout candidacy of last year, and it's something where you don't have to rely too much on Tristan Thompson. And Tristan Thompson can kind of just be there when he needs to be there in these 25, 30-point wins. So yeah, I think Javonte Green's gonna be a really nice get for the Cavs.
How much of a contributor do you see him in the playoffs once rotations and minutes start getting? I mean, we keep assuming that that's going to happen, but I don't know. I think Kenny just might keep rolling with the game plan that he's rolled with all year.
So matchup wise, I think this is really fascinating because the team we often compare them to is the Celtics, right? You have your 2 bigs now. You have your 2 bigger dudes now to guard Tatum and Brown, as far as on the wings, to where Mobley can focus on the Al Horfords and the Porzingises, and same with Allen, and then Mitchell and Garland can just kind of be your offensive guys to kind of run the offense as they have been throughout the year. So obviously, it's not going to play 40 minutes, 35 minutes by any means. There's no Cav does, let alone he might play 15. But in certain matchups, I think he's going to really fit. And depends kind of how they go out. So like if they end up playing, let's say they play Miami in the first round because of the play-in, that's your Andrew Wiggins guy. I think I'm comfortable with that. You play Orlando, he's going to be a group of your guys that guards on Paolo and Franz. So you're like that. Chicago, I mean, that's kind of I think they'll fall out eventually. But
you're hoping.
That's your like guy to kind of be there for Modest, who Modest is really didn't have a great game tonight, but Modest has really kind of taken the step forward since they moved all those guys. He's gotten to play more. He's a guy that has, you can use in a lot of matchups. So really, I mean, even if you think about OKC, like if they play OKC in the finals or something like that, he's usable. Is he going to be in that group? I don't know. But he's certainly usable in a lot of matchups. Yeah,
I mean, that's what we love about all these Cavs is their versatility. I'm curious, and these are all good problems to have. Like you want a roster of 14 guys that you could realistically put any 14 out there and feel good about the team. So I'm curious, like how Kenny attacks this, because he's getting a Coro back, he's getting Dean Wade back, he's got DeAndre Hunter now, and now he's got Green. So it's like this thing was lengthy wing defenders. That was the Cavs' weakness. They now have a surplus of lengthy wing defenders.
Yeah, they completely flipped that on their head. They're going out and get Hunter and Green. So I love it, man. I love that this is a team that just constantly wants to improve. They don't stand pat. And I think this was a great, you and I were hampering really bad for Larry Nance Jr. Really wanted Larry to come here, but once it kind of seemed like Atlanta was going to keep rolling with him on the roster, I thought this was, a really nice, I wouldn't say consolation prize because he's probably better. He's definitely better as a defender than Nance. But this is going to be someone that's really going to fit in well with what Cleveland does. And I honestly wouldn't be surprised if he's on the team next year.
Yeah, I mean, the Cavs are under the luxury tax, which is crazy that they've gotten significantly better while spending less money.
Yeah.
It's I mean, a masterclass from Kobe Altman.
Kobe Altman's a genius for sure.
With being out under the luxury tax, like they have no restrictions going into this offseason. They can do whatever. Now, they're going to be entering the offseason basically I think they're going to be at a second apron team entering.
Yeah, because right now they actually still have their 2 second-round picks technically, but swaps and all that fun stuff. No one knows what's going on, but they might not. I mean, I don't think they're really going to need them. They can draft and stash, or they can just take some guys and put them with the charge for a little while, because right now they have the last pick of the draft. So, and then the 49th, they have Milwaukee's pick. So
yeah, which that pick might be jumping.
Yeah, it's getting better and better.
Portis.
Yeah, no shit. Bobby Portis and Giannis. Sorry, no crap. Getting Bobby Portis and Giannis out of there for a while. So Kyle Kuzma is like perfect. I can just shoot all the time again. Like, let's go.
He's taking 50 shots a game,
buddy. Him and Damian Lillard. He's like, we're gonna play my turn, your turn. Damian Lillard's like, no, just give me the ball.
Just my turn.
Yeah.
I'm speaking of kind of injuries and losing people. Losing Wemby for the rest of the season due to a blood clot is what it came out as.
Yeah.
Super serious stuff. I'm glad that they caught it and are taking care of it and addressing it because he is such a generational talent. You don't want anything really happening, like keep him as good as possible for as long as possible. But it does change the outlook of the Cavs because the Cavs haven't seen the Spurs yet this year,
right.
As well as what we were saying is the most improved player and defensive player of the year, Evan Mobley. Well, now that the media favorite is kind of out for the rest of the year, how much does that help boost those stocks?
So we're not saying this in the sense that we're happy that Wembanyama is out by any means.
Correct.
Obviously. We just want to make sure people don't think we're a-holes. But with that being said, yeah. So now Mobley is the second best betting odds to win Defensive Player of the Year at plus 130. If you want to get into that now, which I got into the beginning of the year. So right now, Jaren Jackson Jr. is the favorite. I haven't seen the most improved player odds since this came out. I don't, but I would certainly think that, he is probably got to be, I thought even with Wembanyama, he was the most improved player in basketball. So I think that if it was up to me, he would be the most improved player and he would win it. But, they'll find some way to give it to some rando, second year player who they'll give it to like Scoot Henderson, who has been okay. But yeah, so let me see if I can find that real quick.
It's been okay for a terrible Trailblazers team that I quite honestly forgot played basketball this year.
They're getting smoked by the Lakers right now. Put in context. Bear with me. I'm logging into FanDuel real quick to see if awards have been fully updated. Defensive Player of the Year. Cade Cunningham. So Mobley is fourth in odds right now behind Cade, Norman Powell, and Tyler Hero. Really? Norman Powell. I think he's had really
Tyler
good
Hero. I could see maybe behind Cade, but
yeah, I can.
The other two,
I'll give you Cade for sure. But yeah, Tyler Hero's played in the finals and he's a 6th man of the year candidate. So he's won a 6th man of the year. Let's calm down. Like
how can you be the most improved player?
Yeah, this is why this is stupid. I heard Zach say the other day that if he had a pick for clutch player of the year, he would give it to Darius Garland, not even on the ballot.
I didn't
But
even know
I also,
Clutch Player of the Year was an actual award now.
yeah, but he's also right for what it's worth. He should be.
Oh yeah,
Yeah,
absolutely.
this is not
I
me
mean,
just being a
when
full-on Cavs homer. Like, this is legit. Like, he has been that good.
he has been great. I mean, when we kind of thought this game was, didn't know which way it was going to go. He really shifted the tide on this one.
Yeah. So the Cavs respect is still like team-wise is being respected. Accolades for individual players are still kind of out there. Though I think if anyone other than Kenny Atkinson wins Coach of the Year, then we should revolt. But yeah, I think that I have a hard time picking anyone other. I love Jaren Jackson Jr. and Memphis has been really, really good defensively this year. We have that matchup coming up in a couple weeks. We have Memphis Cleveland. That's gonna be a great game. So
Sunday.
see Mobley versus Jaren Jackson, dude. That's gonna be fun.
That is gonna be fun.
Yeah. So yeah, that's where we're at now. I still think Mobley is a great bet for Defensive Player of the Year. I still think he should win it. And I think he probably recognizes too that the window's opened a little more for him to get one. I think he was third his second year. He was third in voting, if I remember correctly, before he got injured. Because his third year he got hurt.
Yeah.
Yeah, behind.
I don't remember.
In fact, Anthony Davis has never got one. This says all I need to know about Defensive Player of the Year for what it's worth. But
well, I need at least two end of the season awards to hit my preseason kind of pick. I said we'll have at least two end of the year awards, whether that's Coach of the Year, honestly, GM of the Year, and Defensive Player of the Year, Most Improved Player of the Year, MVP, something.
Yeah, imagine being a team that has 10 losses at this point of the year. It doesn't have a single guy as a favorite to win an award right now.
That's bananas, isn't it? Like that's
Like I understand like not having Donovan Mitchell as the MVP favorite, obviously. Don't get me wrong. But Mobley and Garland not being considered for anything. Those guys have the chance to be all NBA. I'm sure they'll find a way for them to not be, but they should be.
You don't have to tell me.
I know.
Well, we can preview a little bit. We'll kind of gloss over the Knicks game just because Kevin was on with Big Nick Energy a couple of days ago. So go check that episode out either on our side or on Big Nick Energy's side. But really, I want to talk about kind of I don't want to keep saying gauntlet because I feel like I say that every time we hit a little tough string of games.
I'm gonna need you to just like Photoshop yourself on Thanos and just have the hand out.
Gauntlet.
Yeah. I'm gonna
Somebody's got Photoshop out there. But look, I mean, you're facing the Knicks, you're facing Memphis, who we just talked about, facing the Magic, who are a great team. I don't know who's all back in their lineup. I think most of their guys are starting to get healthy, right?
Yeah, they don't know who's in their lineup either, though. So changes.
And then you get the last game against Boston. That's the next 4 games are, playoff teams and upper echelon playoff teams.
Dude, they have the Knicks 3 times after the All-Star break. So counting
That's
tomorrow.
Wild.
Yeah.
Yeah, they really do.
Yeah. Pretty nuts. So like 30 something, 27 games left, and you have 3 games against the Knicks and that 27.
That's wild. I thought we definitely played them. But now that I'm thinking about it, we've only played them once this year. That's gonna suck.
That game ruled too. That was like early in the year during the win streak. So don't think I have to tell you too much. The Knicks are very good. And we kind of deep dive, Kev deep dive into that, like I said, with the Big Nick Energy guys. These are the 2 top offenses in the league. Both had the same travel tonight because the Cavs are leaving from Brooklyn and the Knicks are leaving from MSG to both go to Cleveland for the game. Difference is Cleveland got out of their game a little sooner and got the rest of their guys a little quicker than the Knicks did, which even if they were in a blowout game, they probably would still be playing those guys anyway, knowing how Tibbs is. But it's certainly a team you got to take serious. They're so physical. They're so dynamic offensively. The Brunson Cat pick and roll is just like, if you're a basketball geek like us, is beautiful. So it's going to be a really, really good game. A lot riding on this game as far as seeding for the playoffs, trying to secure home court advantage. I know there's a lot of Cavs fans who are still really bitter about that last Knicks series a couple of years ago, and they lost them in the first round, us included. And so, every time since then I see the Knicks come up on the schedule, I want to beat them. And I think the Cavs feel that way too.
I also think the Cavs feel that way. They want to win, and I think they also feel like nobody truly believes in them. I know Stephen A. Smith actually kind of first let out his first hey, the Cavs are actually legit.
Yeah, I saw he said the more you see them, the more he thinks he can win it.
Yeah. So I mean, I feel like the media is starting to come around to Cleveland. But you're right. I think they have a grudge over, the playoff series loss a few years ago, and they also want to beat these guys. I think the Cavs have depth and health on their side right now. Because ESPN and Vegas have 25-75 Cavs as the matchup prediction.
Nice.
So you feel good about that, right? You feel good?
Yeah, you do. I think this game would be really interesting if Mitchell Robinson were actually healthy, to see what that big duo would look like against our big duo. But I'm pretty happy with where we're at, and I think it's going to be a really, really fun matchup.
I don't know if I could tell you anybody on the Knicks outside of the 6 guys.
Well,
the first 6.
That's all you need. That's all that plays. So, yeah.
Like Josh Hart, and then everything just kind of like, sure.
Yeah, because Jericho Sims got traded to Milwaukee in the Kuzma trade as a 3-way trade. So, Brunson, Bridges, Hart, Cat, Anunoby, Josh Hart. I mean,
Mitchell Robinson,
who doesn't play because he's hurt 95% of the time. Sucks because I really like him. He's really good. Let me see. So, but we're talking about teams 37-18. Precious Achiuwa, totally forgot about him. Landry Shamet, totally forgot about him. And Campaign's on this team. So
February 21st, so tomorrow. So they still have OGM, Nobi might not play. Josh Hart might not play. Mitchell Robinson's definitely out. But those are some guys that were kind of out tonight.
Is Tibbs going to put Tyler Kolek in tomorrow to get some run? Shout out Marquette.
You're on Tips.
But
I love
Tibbs is my dog. Tibbs, I will fight to the core in defense of Tom Thibodeau because he is a dude. But we all know who he is as a coach and what he expects out of his starters. And starters know what they're expected of them too. So
basically play the entire damn game.
Yep. I'll never forget, there was a game when he was coaching with Minnesota. They were on TNT. They're playing Philly. This is like Embiid's first year playing. This is the Butler year that he's in Minnesota. And this is a total story that probably doesn't make any sense that people aren't going to care about whatsoever. But, dude, this game, it's TNT Thursday. They're up 33. Game's over. 4 or 5 minutes left. He is still screaming at these players, like still yelling at them, like, you missed your assignment. Ice, ice, ice. Get over there. It's like, dude, calm down. Like, you guys already won. And Minnesota had been in the playoffs until that point. And God, 12 years, something like that. So,
no, a long time.
Yeah.
I can't remember the last time Minnesota was there.
Besides this last, it took a while till this last year. And then they lost to the Lakers in the play-in 1 year. But I don't know. They might be something outside looking into with how deep the West is right now. So,
well, we better call this before we, go on forever, because I'll just talk with you all night.
We got. I guess should we push the Rockers conversation back to tomorrow after the Knicks game because we got not as many things to talk about.
Yeah, we can definitely talk about the Rockers tomorrow. I want to bring up and shout out that hey, we're gonna have a live event on the 2nd. So we're going to be over at Southern Tier Brewing. Shout outs to them for, kind of giving us the space over there. We're going to have a pregame show again before the Cavs play the Trailblazers. I had to remember that they're
We're down 20 to the Lakers right now. So,
so we'll have a pregame show. Come on out, get some food, get some beer, come say hi. We'll have live Q&A. We'll have some door prizes. We'll have some shirts. We'll have kind of a whole bunch of fun stuff. So if you can make it out, come stay out. It's a free event, so just come show your support. Thank you to Blue Wire for giving us this platform and this opportunity to talk Cavs every night. Go follow us on all of our socials. We're everywhere: Blue Sky, X, Facebook, Instagram. Subscribe to the podcast anywhere you get your podcast media. And with that, Tim, you want to call us out?
Go Cavs.